A few years ago, when I was deep in my chronic fatigue recovery, I kinda hit a wall. I was doing all the basics, so cleaning up my diet, fixing my nutrient deficiencies, cutting down on stress, and trying to sleep better, but my body still felt sluggish. I just felt like there was something missing that could speed up my recovery. So I did some research and saw that two suggestions kept popping up again and again: red light therapy and infrared saunas. At first I brushed this off, but I kept seeing story after story from people saying that it helped them reduce inflammation, improve their circulation, and increase their energy levels. So I gave it a closer look, and honestly, the science behind red light therapy is pretty convincing. Long story short, I ended up buying the cheapest infrared sauna that I could find. It's really just a wooden board with a few red heat lamps attached to it, and even though it looks very simple, it completely changed my health. So in this video, I want to take you through my infrared sauna journey, share what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and whether I recommend it. To start off, let me give you a quick breakdown on why I was so interested in this. You see, red and near-infrared light therapy, also known as photobiomodulation, works by stimulating your mitochondria, so that part of your cell that makes energy in the form of ATP. The light basically helps your cells make energy more efficiently, and that way you recover better from stress and injury. More energy, of course, also means faster tissue repair, less inflammation, better skin, and improved mood. But when I started shopping around for red light therapy panels or high-end infrared saunas, I was hit with massive price tags. We're talking several $1,000s, sometimes even more, and that just wasn't an option for me. At some point, I then stumbled onto a blog post about people building their own red light saunas using heat lamps. Basically, you take a wooden board, attach 3 to 4 heat lights to it, and then you have your own setup that you can use at home for a fraction of the price. The idea behind this is very simple. These bulbs emit near-infrared light and also give off heat. So you're getting photobiomodulation and thermal therapy in one go. The problem was that I suck at woodworking. I don't even own a good drill, and the idea of sawing and wiring things together just made me tired thinking about it. So I started looking around for pre-made versions of this. And eventually I found a super basic infrared setup for around $550 or a little more if you include shipping. So someone had already built these wooden frames and would also send me the heat lamps, and I just had to screw them together. I didn't expect much, but it did have good reviews and it looked solid. It arrived about 2 weeks later, and let me tell you, it took me less than 2 minutes to set up. You really just plug it into an outlet, put a chair in front of it, or place it on the floor like I did, and then you're good to go. So now that I've had this DIY sauna for a couple of years, let me talk about what I like and don't like about it, and if I recommend it to other people. So the pros are, one, that it's incredibly easy to use. There's no fancy control panel, no app, and no weird startup guide. It's just 4 light bulbs on a wooden board. I put it in the corner of my bedroom, sit down in front of it, and then within a few minutes, I'm sweating. I personally don't even need an enclosure, but some people do use it in a smaller space to sweat even more, and it's really just you and the light. The one that I bought even has different switches that you can use to turn on just 1, 2, 3, or all 4 lights. The next thing I like about it is that it actually works. I felt a small difference almost immediately. Not just the warmth, but this deep heat that feels like you're waking your body up from the inside. After the first session, I felt calmer, my limbs felt lighter, and I even slept better that night. And after a week of daily use, my energy was definitely increasing. 3, it's fairly compact and easy to carry. So it's about the size of a small heater, and you could pick it up with one hand and move it anywhere. I've seen people use it in their closets, bathrooms, or other small rooms, again to break a sweat even faster. For me, my bedroom works just fine because the light is warm enough that I still sweat even when just sitting in front of it in a big room. And lastly, and I already hinted at this, it combines both red light therapy and sauna-like heat. This is a huge plus for me. Unlike LED panels that are mostly just light, this thing actually gets hot. So you're getting deep light penetration plus the detox effects of sweating and better circulation, which is great if you're dealing with a sluggish liver, muscle tightness, or slow circulation. Of course, there are also a few things that I don't like about it. And the first thing that I should mention is that I overdid it at first. After the initial benefits that I noticed in the first week, during the second week, I was so excited that I sat in front of it for way too long. This was a big mistake. I felt jittery, overstimulated, and kind of anxious. Well, it turns out when your mitochondria suddenly start making more energy than they have in months or maybe even years, then your body can freak out a bit. I now stick to around 10 to 15 minutes max per session and had to work my way up slowly. From what I can tell, this happens quite a lot to sensitive people who have chronic fatigue syndrome, for example, or a similar condition. The light is basically upregulating many energy and detox pathways that were dormant for such a long time. The next thing I need to talk about is that it's not the prettiest thing to have in your room. My girlfriend wasn't thrilled about it being in our bedroom, and she still isn't. But hey, it's smaller than a treadmill, and she is dating a health freak, so she's already seen me try out a bunch of weird stuff before. It's definitely not a deal breaker. And the last thing I want to talk about is that I had to buy safety goggles. This is not a real drawback, but still worth mentioning. These bulbs are very bright, especially if you're sitting close to it. I picked up a cheap pair of red tinted safety goggles on Amazon just to be sure. The research on the effect of red light on the eye is very mixed, and some say it's beneficial, while others say it's harmful. I prefer to stay on the safe side, so I never shine it directly into my eyes or even too close to my head. Great, with the pros and cons out of the way, and assuming you want to try this out for yourself, how to use this setup correctly. I explain everything in more detail in my video on red light therapy, but here are the cliff notes. So in terms of distance, you want to sit around 12 to 24 inches away from the lights, so around 30 to 60 centimeters. Obviously, closer means more heat and more intensity. In terms of time frame, start with 1 to 3 minutes per area, and your areas would be front, back, left, and right, and then work your way up. Total session time should be around 15 to 20 minutes, and I prefer to stay on the lower end of this. In terms of skin exposure, take your shirt off and just sit in front of it in your underwear. And lastly, in terms of frequency, start with 3 to 5 sessions per week and then adjust based on how you feel. You can do this every day if you feel comfortable, and the key is to stay consistent, so try to use it regularly and listen to your body. You also need to be a little patient with results. I was a fast responder, but for most people it takes around 4 to 6 weeks to notice a difference, so keep this in mind when you're buying one. Great, to wrap up this video, let me give you my verdict on this thing. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. If you're dealing with chronic fatigue syndrome, burnout, or just feeling like your body isn't bouncing back the way it used to, this might be one of the best bang for your buck tools out there. Same if you have any other problems where red light therapy or sauna might help, like tense muscles, bad sleep quality, or exercise recovery. I honestly can't believe more people don't know about this. For under $500, I got something that boosts my energy while also calming me down, makes me sweat without needing a built-in sauna system, and even helps with inflammation and recovery. To be honest, I don't care at all anymore that this isn't a fancy sauna. Even though it's just 4 light bulbs, it works like a charm, and that's all that matters to me. So yeah, I really did buy the cheapest infrared sauna in the world, at least the cheapest that I could find, and it might just be one of the best purchases that I ever made for my health. If you're curious about where I got mine or want to learn more about the science behind it, I will link both my red light therapy video and the product in the description. Keep in mind that I'm located in Europe, and so is the sauna shop that sells these things. But I did find a similar manufacturer in the US that sells pretty much the same setup for about the same price. So make sure to check it out if you live in the US. Of course, if you want to get an even cheaper one, I will also link a plan on how to build one yourself. Again, everything will be in the description. Thanks again for watching, and if you've ever tried something like this, let me know how it went for you.